And someone else who seems to have had a bit of a come-to-Jesus moment on all this is American news anchor Chris Cuomo. He was the top-rating host on CNN until he was fired in 2021 for allegedly helping to cover up sexual harassment allegations against his brother, who was then the governor of New York. Well, he's since been at News Nation, where he is still a lefty, but has perhaps been a bit more inquisitive and conciliatory towards his political opponents. He's even done a sit-down interview with Tucker Carlson. Well, now he is one of the few people on the American left who's had the guts to call out the horrendous victim blaming against Donald Trump after the second assassination attempt against him. Chris Cuomo was so disgusted by the response that he actually picked up the phone to Trump to check that he was okay.
I didn't know what to say. I kept going through drafts, and I just wasn't getting anywhere. It wasn't even landing right with me. So I called former President Trump. And I didn't ask him any questions. I didn't go after him about his role. I just wanted to know how his family's taking this, because I grew up like that. I grew up worried about who was going to try to hurt my father. And you can think what you want about Trump. He does not have many more full-throated critics of what he says and does than me, okay? And yet I called him today because I am ashamed of how we are responding and not responding to the threats on him. And I feel for his family. And I know you can roll your eyes and say, oh, yeah, he asked for it. Listen, that's your choice, and I think it's a wrong choice, okay? And I got to tell you, I don't know how he stays in the race. I don't know how he got up after being shot in the head. And you people who try to mitigate that, you need to check yourself.
Bravo! Someone on the left in the American media who can see that the inflammatory rhetoric of Biden and Harris and their mates, calling him a threat to democracy and the world, as bad as Hitler, Stalin, Mussolini, got to put him in the bullseye, all this stuff, it has inflamed the tensions that have led to people trying to take Donald Trump's life. Now, I'll have more to say on this on the media show tomorrow. Make sure you tune in at 9 p.m, because I'll have every example of the media trying to blame Trump for nearly getting himself killed. But what you saw from Cuomo there is what we are sadly losing from politics at a rapid rate: civility and humanity. And beyond the fact that people are trying to kill a political candidate, which is shocking, this is part of what has made me so sad about this situation more broadly. I mean, imagine looking at your political opponent nearly being assassinated and thinking, well, the bastard deserved it. Imagine blaming him for bringing it upon himself, wishing death upon him. And I know we all make jokes about people we don't like, oh, they should be shot. And that's fine when it's a blue joke. But if your first response to a former president nearly being killed isn't, oh my God, this is awful and it must be stopped, then you are part of the problem. Politics is meant to be about people, about you and me, the people who are meant to be represented by politicians. And we usually get the best outcomes when people from across the political aisle can disagree vehemently but still work together. That's what we're losing. And going back to the point about cancel culture, that's what it does. It divides us. I've always had lefty friends, and I hope I always do, because even though we might disagree, I don't think their politics automatically makes them bad people. And if you can't mix with people with whom you disagree, then you can never challenge yourself, and that's a terrible thing for the mind. Many on the left, though, do think your politics can make you a bad person. They don't just hate conservative thought, they hate conservatives themselves, because for them, everything is so personal. And that's how you end up with two people trying to shoot a Republican president in a matter of months.